It's Calisowling on Sporting Icons.
I'll tell you what, this whole situation with Conor Benn gets more and more messy and complicated as the days go by. Now, I'm going to try and explain it as simple as I possibly can because I have a basic understanding of it, but explaining it's going to be a whole different thing. It really is. So I do apologise. I've got a feeling I'm going to fumble this one. Anyway, so the British Box Border Control and UKAD are now appealing the decision by NADP, who cleared Conor Benn. And it appears, of what I can gather here, the British Box Border Control and UKAD are appealing it based on a jurisdiction, by pretty much saying that the NADP have no jurisdiction here and in this situation, which is kind of ironic in some ways because UKAD are claiming that Conor Benn has got something in his system, so therefore, by default, he's guilty, right? So if he's guilty, but yet UKAD didn't find this substance, VADA did. So how does that work exactly? It's a complete mess. It really is a complete mess because it appears that NADP's whole focus on clearing Conor Benn isn't necessarily about how he got this into his system. It's more about the fact that it stayed in his system, and it's more about the science of it. But of what I can understand, the British Box Border Control and UKAD are saying, but regardless of how it got into his system, whether it's the fact that he took eggs, he ate eggs, and these particular eggs had this particular substance in it, and because whatever is with Conor Benn's DNA, that it takes a lot longer for it to leave his system than it would a regular human being, that's not anybody's problem. The issue here is a strict liability, i.e., he ate these eggs and it got into his system. No matter how you gloss it, that's his fault. I think that's pretty much what's going on here. And it does appear to be a bit of a pissing contest between the NADP and UKAD and the British Box Border Control over jurisdiction as to who has the final say, who gets to officially clear him, who allows him to box in the UK, and all that kind of stuff. There seems to be some big boy boardroom kind of talks. Now, UKAD and British Box Border Control appealing it is yet another way that potentially Matchroom and Conor Benn could look at them and go, right, so you've been witch hunting Conor for a long old time now. You've been doing things out of character that you haven't done with other fighters. There seems to be an issue here. Now, Conor Benn, he did threaten to sue the British Box Border Control a few months ago. Now, had the British Box Border Control had just given him his license back like now, would he still have sued them? Probably not. He'd probably just got on with his career, put it down to experience. Everybody learned something new. We move on. But now they've done this, I wonder if Conor Benn is actually going to sue them now. And if he sues them, that's pretty much game over for the British Box Border Control. Win, lose or draw, they can't, well, I'm led to believe they can't afford to go that kind of route. They can't. Which is why they ended up leaving, was it London, and went over to Cardiff. And I believe Frank Warren actually bailed him out at one point. So this is going to be a complete mess. I wonder what kind of situation is going to happen here. Because maybe they're just doing it just to try and show everybody that they're the big boys in town. It could be that. And ultimately they're going to clear Conor Benn anyway. Because I really can't see UKAD or the British Box Border Control finding him guilty because ultimately UKAD didn't catch him. They didn't find this in his system. VADA did. Because if you don't find it in his system, then who are you to say that he should be banned or not? You know what I mean? It's what I'm saying. UKAD's testing policy and procedure, or however it is that they do it, firstly, it takes way too long, goes round the houses. And second of all, they're not picking up on everything. So what good are they? Of course, this means that TalkSport can do 101 more videos, squeeze in a few more adverts, and whatever else in their 101 videos that they're going to do on this subject. God bless them, right? But either way, looks like what Eddie Hearn was saying, that Conor Benn is clear to fight in the UK and all that kind of good stuff. Looks like he ain't, because the British Box Border Control are not going to license him or authorise him even if Conor Benn gets a foreign licence. which is weird because British Box Board of Control do not actually govern British boxing. They're self-appointed. Anybody can kick them out and start up a new one. They'll just fight under a different license, under different licensed referees and judges and all that kind of stuff. Don't be surprised if Matchroom at some point soon stop using the British Box Board of Control and UKAD. Don't be surprised. And the British Box Board of Control are then pushed out of British boxing. I wonder. Anyway, it's a bit of a mess. I don't think I explained it all very clearly, but hopefully there's some little snippets that you can kind of put together yourself and try and get as to what it is I'm trying to say here. But it's very, very messy. Very, very messy. Is he cleared? Is he innocent? Is he not? Are they just appealing it just because they want to show who's the big boys? Who knows? Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.